Welcome to the Home Team Sacramento podcast. My name is Josh Takimoto, one of your hosts. Kevin Bracey is not here with us tonight, but that's okay because we have a friend of the show who's been following us for a little while, who's always been a huge supporter of what we've been doing since we started Home Team Sacramento. The crazy thing is, he's not even here local in Sacramento right now. He's from Sacramento, but not here currently. We've got Coach Brandon Johnson. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, Josh? How's it going?
Good, man. I want to mention too, owner of Maintain Fitness in Bakersfield, correct?
That's correct.
That's awesome. So, man, we're so thankful that you're willing to do this. And like I said, the name of it's Home Team Sacramento, but we also like to, it's not just a matter of interviewing coaches and athletes that are living in Sacramento, that are from Sacramento, but we also like to kind of expand out beyond that. And if we can bring in coaches from outside areas that can give some value to our home team, that's awesome. And then obviously in some of the messages that you and I have shared back and forth prior to this recording, you have a heart to see young athletes be their very best. And so when it comes to coaches and athletes with that mindset, it doesn't matter if you're from Sacramento, like you're still a part of that home team when it comes to making athletes their very best, both on and off the field, man. So I'm excited to get this conversation going, dude.
Right on. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, like you said, Sacramento, not born and raised, born up north in Fortuna, up in Eureka, but lived a good majority of my life in Sacramento, Roseville, California.
Yeah.
And we've been in Bakersfield 12 years now.
Okay. Awesome.
Doing my thing. So my seed was planted up there, and it's just now in Central California doing what I love to do.
I love it, man. So let's go back a little bit for anybody who's listening that doesn't know your story and doesn't know who you are and where you came from. Tell us a little bit about your athletic and coaching background, and then how you got to the place you are today.
So started off in sports super young. Pop Warner, good old Roseville, California. I was a Roseville Bobcat. Didn't get a lot of seasons built in. I suffered a back injury early on, back when things were a little different when it came to tackling. Things are so much different now, but I suffered a back injury, ended up with a condition that would, depending on the impact that I was maybe, introduced in a contact sport. It could be football, it could have been anything, would have paralyzed me from the waist down. So with that being said, it was the start and the end of my little football career, just quick. Several years had gone by. I was freshman in high school, and the chiropractor I was seeing for my condition was actually my aunt. She owned her own business in Rancho Cordova.
Nice.
She did a lot of research and realized that a lot of NFL players were playing with my same kind of condition. The clause was that you have to be in good shape. You have to keep your core strong so you don't allow the disc to completely come out of its alignment from the spinal cord. Keep your core strong. At that point in time, I had lost so much playing time and so much experience, and making up all that experience in game speed and competing up against other kids that had been playing for so long was super difficult. I went out my freshman year. We had a great season. Again, I was battling for starting positions. It was very difficult. But what I did do is I became a student of the game. Went on to run track, ran track. Didn't really do any. I was a really good distance runner. Something that was super easy for me without a lot of training. I mean, eat a bowl of top ramen and go run 10 miles. I mean, it's just weird stuff. Training's evolved so much since then.
Sure.
When I got married, say I have 4 kids. My son, obviously, I wanted him to benefit what I wasn't able to benefit through, and we plugged him right in the Pop Warner program. And I stood back and let him do his thing. He's 8 years old. He's out there figuring it all out. And I kind of kind of took notice to some of the coaching, techniques and the way the coaches were using, the way they were using their verbiage and coaching and body position and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, I could do that. I could totally do that.
Yeah.
So I gained an interest for that. And the next season I went out as a volunteer coach and started working with the kids. And, it's just, it meshed, it clicked. I realized that I had a way that I could communicate with kids to where they understand me, even though as being an adult, not without dumbing down your verbiage, but you had a connection with the kids that they see you, you see the brain working, you say, Coach, I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then I just grew a passion for it. I had the opportunity to be with my son as he's being coached up. We worked together on the same team. That way, I got to watch his progress at the same time as I got to coach other kids. And eventually that torch was passed on and he went on to high school and I continued to coach. And as we were going through, through the years, I noticed, things evolve, kids get older. What I was noticing is there was a lot missing from just, the agility, the speed and the body mechanics. Sure. Like there's so much that could have been fixed right there. You seeing the same kids coming out and they're trying out for the football team, and you got 60, 80, 100 kids coming out for one level, one program. And these kids are being cut, and they're being cut because maybe it's something that they couldn't run simple cone drills. They have the heart of a lion, but their body mechanics were just suffering. Their wind was suffering. Their cardiovascular was suffering. And I took it upon myself to let some parents know, hey, this summer when football's over, or this spring or fall playoffs. Yeah. I have my mind's messed up.
Hey, that's all good.
I'm going to start working with these kids in the off season. Start getting their legs up underneath them, start running cone drills a little sharper, a little bit more efficiently. Started bonding with these kids. These kids were not only kids that I met on the football field, but now we've developed a friendship. So I saw a kind of an outreach going on at the same time, and parents caught word. The next season, I noticed I took my little group of kids that I started working with, and they went out and they made the team the next year. And the coaches that remembered that cut them looked at these kids, and I remember one coach saying, "What the heck happened to you?"
Yeah.
As in, where did that speed come from?
Yeah.
Where did that athleticism come from? And then the parent, just giving me the props is just saying, "Hey, I was working with Brandon in the off season, and he just wanted to change and go from being cut to your first string running back for the next season." Was a huge stride. So it kind of opened my heart.
Yeah.
I knew I had something there. And so I went from there, and I went. So every off season, my kids grew more and more and more to where our training was more than training. It was kind of working more towards the character development.
Sure.
How far can I take this? How much can I really pour into this? Football is seasonal. It's temporary. You get 2 hours a day to do the best you can with what you got. How much can I make an impact on these kids? So we started doing things together. I go out and play paintball with them. I go and invite them over for UFC fight night. And I got 35 boys in my living room, and we're smashing down some pizza, and we're getting revved up on some competition on the TV. And that's when you're building relationships. So from that point on, I continue to coach. Right up until, so 2000, where are we at? 2009, 2010. The economy took a dump.
Mm-hmm.
I had to withdraw from coaching. We had to make some lifestyle changes, which put us here in Bakersfield. And the first thing I did when I got down here is I looked for the football programs here in Bakersfield. Reached out to one of the representatives and said, hey man, I've been coaching up north for quite a while. I'd like to get plugged into your program. And he checked out my resume, said, absolutely, you got great experience, come on over. And I realized that over the years, you know, things change, the competition gets tougher, the training changes. When you move locations, now you're dealing with a completely different demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids up north are not your same kids down here. So I had to adapt. I had to tweak some things. I noticed I'm dealing with a kind of a different demographic as far as, well, not to say what our activity here is less than what it is up there. So kids are struggling a little bit more as far as weight differential. We're a little heavier down here.
Yeah.
It's a little hotter. I mean, not to say Sac isn't hot. It's hot, but it's real hot up here. So the training regimens here, we have off days. So where if it's too hot, we don't practice.
Mm-hmm.
You have bad air days down here. No practice. So I noticed that kids were losing a lot of time, a lot of training. And it was when they would come back, there was a bunch of inconsistencies and they would really struggle. As far as the football program, I noticed that there was a lot of politics, as in more about the wins and not about the development of the kid, because each youth program should be a feeder program to the high school which that kid goes to.
Sure.
And from here, it was completely different from what I was used to up there. So trying to adapt, fit in, work with the coaches that have been here for a while. What I left up north was not the same here. I was kind of trying to bring that same thing here, and it just wasn't working out. So I spent 2 seasons here. We went to Vegas, my first time going to Vegas in a tournament. I was the defensive coordinator for that tournament, and we took second overall. I lost to Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Out of Oakland. He runs a mean program. Them kids are feisty and fast.
Yeah, they are.
I have no, hardship over that. I'm cool with that, man. He runs a great program. He's doing great things for the kids. We took second, and I knew, that was probably going to be the last time I was going to be coaching here as far as organized sports. I just talked to my wife, and I said, I had this dream that I've always wanted. And it's a dream in a sense that if I could have my own place one day and just do the things I want to do with nobody telling me what to do or rules I have to follow, I just have my own. I can be who I want to be. I can work with these kids how I want to. I can develop the time. It gives them a place to go. We don't have to worry about the elements. And so we took a leap of faith and found this building. We couldn't afford it. I got the opportunity to look at it at least. So we go and we look at it, and it's a 3,000 square foot box. When I walked in, I saw everything laid out. I saw my squat rack. I saw my pull-up bars. I saw all my equipment just kind of envisioned in place. And I told the landlord, I said, well, take it. And my wife goes, we can't afford this.
Right.
I said, yes, we can. She goes, no, can't afford this. We afforded it. It happened. The next summer, I started off in my program with kids. My program now is working with strength and conditioning and speed and agility. I do have a adult boot camp that I run in here that helps pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So I can work with the kids.
Sure.
And now that dream has now become a reality. So I'm just kind of like, long story short in it here. We are creating some huge impact inside this 3,000 square foot building. I got 2 kids from my first year of speed and agility committed.
Wow.
2 different colleges coming out of my program, and it's continuing to grow. I'm having a blast. It's every day I look forward to seeing their faces. And now it's all about evolving. How far can I help prepare these kids for their road? It's not just day to day or week by week. It's for the next 4 years in high school. Okay, we're in high school, we got 4 years. It's the next 4 years of your college. It's the next 40 years of your life. Now I can forecast because it's under my control. It's under my roof. All that other gibberish is gone. And it's been a blessing. So yeah, to wrap up that, from leaving out a lot of detail, but just trying to get to the point.
Yeah.
Josh, that's how I became where I'm at.
I love that, man. I love it. It's obvious too, man, as you're speaking, it's obvious that you're passionate about not only the strength and conditioning and seeing athletes become stronger, faster, more agile, but it's obvious that you love the character development part of it too, which I think is awesome, man. And I'm always thankful and grateful that we have coaches like yourself and trainers like yourself that make that a priority, because it's huge, man. And you know, we talk to guests all the time about this. Like that's something that, like, at some point in life you can maintain the speed and agility for a while, the strength for a while, but the one thing that will never go away if you protect it is the character, right? The integrity, the honor. That's something that will, it's not dependent on, you know, how fast you are, how strong you are, any of that. So I always love hearing that. But I wanted to, you know, ask you a couple questions based on what you said. I have wrote down a couple of notes here. So obviously, you know, this is called the home team podcast, and you basically went from one home team and then you picked up and started a completely different place. And you mentioned this, it's a different culture, different environment, different politics involved, different set of kids. So, I mean, just a couple of questions based on what you were saying. How difficult was it? Obviously, like you said, there's things outside of your control that you had to, you know, make the move. But like when you had to leave those relationships with the students and their families, like how difficult was that for you? And when did you finally feel settled in your new hometown or your new home team?
It was super difficult because anybody who knows me from there knows that that is my passion. It's who I am. Is when anything that involves kids, that's my go-to. My relationships I developed. I'm pretty fortunate that I still get to talk to some of my kids. Daniel Thomas being one.
Yeah, we love DT.
Stud, just an amazing young man.
I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but at what age did you know Daniel?
So
He's like 20s. He's like what, early 20s right now? Mid 20s right now?
He's 26, 27. I think he's a
Okay.
year older than my son, and my son's 26.
Gotcha. Okay.
They played together one season. I want to say he was 12.
Dang, that's crazy.
And he was raw. He came off as a basketball player. He was known for his basketball ability. And we brought him on, and there was hype. You know, we got this kid, he's got great hands and yada, yada, yada. And they're like, okay, can he hit? Can he take a tackle? We know he's talented.
Yeah.
And from the day that young man stepped on the field was just the beginning of his road. He was amazing to watch. He caught everything in the air. I called him Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He just, sometimes we wondered how in the heck did he, if there was instant replay, we would have to see instant replay just to watch how beautiful his catch. He had
Wow.
hands like no other. He played both ways for me. He was my outside linebacker. He was also a super lethal weapon on offense. He played tight end for our first year, and then we realized he got better with speed. He got comfortable with the game, and then he played run back, fly back. We ran a fly offense, so he was our fly. We could put him anywhere, he would play. Second season, we went undefeated. A lot of it was because of Daniel, but we had a really balanced team, we had a good core team. It was 2005, 2006. And we went all the way to the second round of the playoffs, undefeated. We gave up no points in 8 games of that regular season. Our first points were given up in the first round of the playoffs. I had the right play call.
Jeez.
But my linebacker and nose went through the same A gap, and the quarterback, it was a quarterback sneak. It's a goal line play. I mean, it was
Sure.
so predictable.
Yeah.
But they went through the same hole, and but we needed to be scored on. And then second round, double overtime. We lost. I held him to a field goal, and offensive coordinator decided to throw a ball. I do want to say it was to DT. It was 15 yards out to the goal line in the back corner post, and that's just bread and butter for a defensive back. They just squat on the play, and it's jump ball from there. But I don't want to take nothing away from that. Daniel, I watched him grow up through high school. He was right there, always competing with, and I know a lot of viewers out there is going to know this name, Shaq Thomas.
Yeah.
Outside linebacker, or middle linebacker now, played next to Keatley, and so that was Daniel's competition. So him and Daniel,
yeah,
every game was an exciting game. They were 2 outstanding athletes, just going head to head, all throughout their career. And obviously, Shaq went on to the NFL, and Daniel's back home working with the younger generations. Still calls me coach, still calls me on the phone. We text, we share ideas. I go up and visit him every now and then.
That's awesome.
But as far as, back to what you're saying, is I do have some relationships, and my kids reach out on me on Facebook. They're grown now, they got kids. So it was hard. I wanted that same thing when I moved here. Try to get my name out there was the hardest thing, because the competition here was pretty fierce. I have the Cars, David and Derek Carr, who run their speed and agility program through BCHS, Bakersfield Christian High School here. Big name, a lot of competition. Kids flock to that name. They do a lot in the community. They do a lot for the Children's Network and stuff. Some of the other programs out here, the kids were already established. So here I am coming in. I got to make a name for myself. What do you know? I mean, what do you got to offer? How much your prices? And all the logistics of what goes to getting out there, your advertising. And it took me over 2 years to get people to see what I had to offer. I just want you to come in. Just come in. Let me work with you for a bit. Understand what it is. You know who I am. You feel who I am. I talk to your parents. You see my face. That was hard. It was hard. And I knew my goal was to bring back what I had up north, is to build a fellowship full of trustworthy relationships with kids here.
Right.
So by bringing my facility here, I was able to do that. But Josh, it was tough, and I do miss it. But I think I'm on a roll now to where my kids are getting loved on. We got a good fellowship going on. They're talking to their friends. They're inviting their friends in. You know what I mean? It's a blessing, man. It's just, I'm just blessed.
That's awesome, man. But let me ask you this too, because I feel like, I think it's pretty obvious. Even when you first hopped on the call, like you just had a lot of energy, and it's obvious even from following you on social media. You can tell you have a lot of energy, a lot of passion. How much of that passion and how much of your passion for helping young athletes is fueled and maybe stems from your own playing career being cut short? Because I imagine that there's got to be that thing in the back of your mind where it's like you have a different appreciation than a lot of other people because you didn't get to enjoy the ride as long. For some people, I mean, some people are playing this game or playing whatever sport they play for so long they almost take it for granted.
Yeah,
For you, it sounds like you didn't even have a chance to take it for granted because it was cut short so quickly. So how much of that experience fuels you every day as you do your thing?
every day, every day,
Every day.
Josh. I think about it all the time. Is um, one of those uncontrolled missed opportunities. We talk about adversity. We talk about, you know, um, ex, what the expectations you have for yourself, and then all of a sudden it comes to a complete stop. I wish I'd have had played, you know, 10, 12, 15 years in the game, or even a two sport player. Uh, the experience that I missed out on, I'm trying to help the kids understand that you're creating memories for yourself, you're building relationships, you're meeting coaches, father figure roles that are going to have a huge impact on your life. You want to stick with it as best you can. I try to use that to fuel to when a kid tells me they want to quit
Hmm.
or they want to give up or it's too hard or they don't like their coach or blah blah blah, whatever it is, whatever complaint they have, simple complaint. I say you got to bury that, man. You get one opportunity and you want to take that opportunity, you want to run with it for as long as you can and enjoy yourself. The most important thing is enjoy your your craft, whatever it is you're doing. And you can look back on it and maybe you become a coach one day, or maybe your kids you have will come up through that and you'll be able to share the memories and the the experiences you had. um yeah, it's hard because you can't really relate to some aspects of it because I wasn't there. I didn't really do it. I was kind of on the outside looking in as a student coach, but not playing impact, having an impact of actually playing a game and know what it means to run the ball on, I don't know, 3rd and 6, last play of the game, you're out of timeouts. No, I never got to experience that, but I want you to be able to experience that, because I did. I unfortunately, God had a different plan for me.
Sure.
Um, so yeah, if that, I think that answered your question. I
Oh
was
yeah.
starting off on a tangent.
No, no, 100%. Yeah, it's all good, man. No, that answered it 100%. I mean, like you said, the simple answer is yeah. It fuels, like you said, it fuels you every day. And I think it's important for you to like you've been doing, passing that message along to your young athletes because, like you said, it especially with sports, nowadays you see, you play your sport, you show up to practice, you go to the weight room, you train, you kind of get into this. As much as we love sports, it can still become monotonous, right? Like it's an everyday thing. Like it's just what you do. And sometimes we can take those things for granted. And,
Mhm.
when you have someone, a voice like yourself in their life that's saying, hey, this is my story, this is what can happen. So never take it for granted because you
Never
never
take it
know.
for granted. Love
Never
what you
know.
do.
Absolutely. Love what
Cherish
you
it.
do. Yeah. 100%.
Cherish it. And you know, push it.
Yeah.
See what you're able to become.
Yeah.
Take it to the next level. Don't be afraid. Use your voice, use your eyes, use your ears. We're blessed with these tools. Put
Yeah.
them to work. Um, Step into that leadership role.
Yeah.
Push it to the maximum. It, um, there's nothing terrible about any of that. Who knows what that's going to carry over into your life? The way you enjoy that, you're going to carry that same work ethic, that same passion is up to eventually loving something to do for work.
Right.
or maybe it's your family, your wife, your marriage, kids of your own. You just take that passion with it, know how to apply it to something. Yeah, too often, you just hear the word quit, hate, too hard. I don't know. I can't. It's like, you have no idea. I mean, like, you just, what you'd be missing out on if you quit. So I try to encourage that. Um, don't take it for granted. Like you said, cherish every minute that you're out there, play it like it's your last,
Yeah.
and enjoy the people around you,
Yeah.
those relationships, because they could be lifelong relationships that you build. Your teammates, man. I mean, your workout partners, they're lifers, man.
Yeah.
Um, so it's important. Absolutely.
100%, man. Let me ask you this: as a trainer, and I'm guessing it sounds like you deal with, uh, athletes of all ages, but it sounds like maybe even on like the younger, like, is it middle school side or age?
Yeah, elementary and
Elementary.
summer. This last summer, we did 5 to 7 year olds.
Dang.
My
Okay.
first time ever.
All
And
right. You're a brave man.
yeah, yeah, it was an experience, man. But
I
I tell
bet.
you what, if anybody out there listening to this is get that opportunity to work with kids that young and you have the patience, man, it is a kick in the pants.
Oh, I
To
bet.
watch kids get squirrely and just their big old eyes looking at you. You're just, you're rough around the feathers, but you loving on them and you see
Yeah.
them do stuff. The little ones are fun. They're
Yeah.
squirrely, but they're fun.
Oh,
But yeah, my age group ranges that in the summertime, and then we go 8 years old to 13, and then they're high school to college.
awesome. So as a trainer, as someone who's, like you said, challenging them, pushing them, trying to get them to realize they have so much more inside of them than they may even realize. What is that feeling? I always love talking to trainers about this. That it's a fascinating thing to me. Like, what is that feeling you get when you realize that one of your athletes who you've been pushing and challenging, like, that light bulb finally comes on, where they understand, they finally get the thing that you've been trying to teach them and challenge them to do? Like, what is that feeling like when they finally grasp a concept that you're trying to teach?
I know exactly where I'm just getting a moment here. I know exactly where you're going with this, Josh. And I knew exactly as soon as you started saying, I knew. There's no feeling in the world.
Yeah.
There's no amount of money in the world um, that's greater than that moment. Uh, when they finally click, you've been working on something for so long. I think the first time it happened, it was working with these kids. I called them, what is this? Pork chops. They're my little pork chop, my little 3 little pigs. That's what they call them. They were so undersized. They played D-line for me, and they were too small to block or to penetrate. So I would have them bear crawl.
Huh.
Some of the toughest kids I've ever met. And one of them finally got a tackle. He couldn't tackle to save his life. He was getting lit up all the time. And from the field, he looked over me and he goes, I did it.
Wow.
And you see your passion and your hard work come to life.
Yeah.
Every day. I think that's what motivates me the most is if you're getting it 1 or 2 of those a day, a week, a month. It's just the driving point in why we do what we do. And if you're a coach and you're passionate about coaching, and anybody who's listening to this knows exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes because you want that so bad for them. You want them to achieve that 1 notch higher or that 1 step better, or that you want it for them. And when they nail it, I think I get more excited than they do. Like, I come out of my skin. Just take the box jump, for instance.
Yeah.
Just getting both feet up and landing on the box 1 time at that height. they work so hard. They hit the face, they hit their shins, they're falling down, they're frustrated. And then they nail it. And you're just, one of the parents caught a picture of me
Yeah.
with one of my 7-year-olds, and he finally got up, and it was a perfect moment because I had two of my high school athletes that are my student athletes. They come in and help me coach.
Yeah.
And we've been working, and we're surrounding this box, and he lands this box jump, and he's turning down and he's looking at me. I'm on my knees, and I've got my arms all the way back, and both my high school kids are caught coming up with the fist drive, like, and we're all, oh,
Just amped up.
oh, we wanted that so bad, and it's completed. I think as a coach, it's one of the best feelings.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, until you experience it, it's hard to feel it, but man, Josh, it's a feeling, man.
I love it, man.
I would take one of those every day to start my day.
Oh, I bet. Well, it sounds like it's better than coffee.
One of those moments every day, and I will be the most motivated, positive, most wonderful person to hang out with if I can get one of those every day. So that's my goal.
Yeah,
is to change lives, and if it's step by step, if it's ladder rung by ladder rung, if it's catch by catch, whatever we got to do.
Yeah,
to do that. Then they believe in you.
Right. So I know you kind of mentioned this earlier, that you at one point in your story, you were saying, hey, this is basically the last time when you were in Vegas, right? This is the last time I'm going to be coaching. Is there ever a possibility that you go back to actually coaching, or are you good with where you're at as far as training, working with the kids in that capacity? Or is there a possibility that is there that Tom Brady, hey, I'm retired, but there's some rumors out there that I might come back.
There's been a lot of talk Josh. There's been a lot of talk lately. I've had a lot of coaches pulling on me in here. They're seeing what I'm producing in here. They'll stand by and they'll watch me coach and listen to my verbal cues and how I work with the kids. And they know my record. They know the years I've put in, and they know I'm passionate about it. And like, who wouldn't want that for your team? So I got a lot of organizations out here. Hey, we got a head coach position over here. Hey, I need a defense coordinator. Hey, I will always constantly, think about walking up and down those sidelines again. Am I ready for it? No. As far as my business and taking care of what I got in here is my pride and joy here. I would have to know that if I stepped away, that this thing could run itself, so I can devote my full attention to those kids on the sidelines. But if I'm not here, I feel like I'm cutting them short.
Sure.
But yes, Josh, I do think about it, and that's a good question, because it's the last couple of weeks it's been brought up quite a bit.
Okay.
And so I even thought about, what if I made my own 7-on-7 team? And I just in the gym, because there are a lot of 7-on-7 competitions out here.
Sure.
It's a big thing out here. And what if I just took my own kids,
right?
We just kind of threw them out there on the football field and see what we're capable of accomplishing.
Yeah.
That has been a big conversation the last couple of weeks.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. And I appreciate and respect the fact that I'm sure it's a nice, it feels good to the ego, right? Like all these dudes coming up to you, it's like, hey, would you do this? Would you do that? Defensive coordinator, head coach. And you could easily say, absolutely, at the first, sign of an opportunity, but you understand the responsibility that you have to the students, the athletes that you're coaching right now. And so a lot of respect for that, man, because I think that's important. And you understand what you have and who you're responsible for. So I'm sure other people, I'm sure a lot of people would do the same thing. I'm sure a lot of people would not even hesitate and just take the job. It's like, and then.
Yeah. I mean, there's some good ball programs out here. I mean, Liberty just went to state. It's, they long haul. One of my kids that actually got committed was on that team. There's some good programs out here, some real good competition. Am I ready for that political stuff again? Maybe.
Yeah.
If I was head coach, maybe have a little bit more control. Am I allowed to have no daddy coaches? Can I just have dads out there that are there for the kids and not their own? You know,
Yeah,
we can negotiate.
sure.
But yeah, I've looked at a couple of programs, and you know what, I can definitely change that program around. No, not yet, not yet.
It's all about the timing.
Oh,
I get that.
coach Ed, yeah. Oh, signups are happening. Hey, coach, you want to come out? Just come check out a game.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Just
They're
try to
gonna reel me
lure
in.
you
Yeah.
in. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Give me around the other coaches. Hey, you want to go out for a beer? You know, no, not so much.
Yeah, that's how it
But
starts.
yeah, they start, well, you know, you have pick at the litter. So yeah, the carrot's always dangling,
Sure.
but I'm being patient with that. People who know me know that it's always in the back of my mind.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, it is definitely a Tom Brady thing.
Yeah. Hey, it's always a possibility. That comeback is always a possibility.
Yeah.
All right, coach. Well, I got two more questions for you, and then we'll
Okay.
get you out of here. I want to be respectful of your time. Obviously, you know, anybody who's just listening to this may not know this, but if you're watching, you'll be able to see this pretty clearly. Coach is in his facility right now. He's podcasting from his facility. When we hopped on the call, he's like, "Man, I live here. This is my home." So I know that's the case for a lot of coaches, especially once you get to that high school level. The amount of preparation, the amount of sacrifice that's required from both spouses, families, kids, is quite a bit for coaches when they make that choice to be a coach at that level. So for you, not only are you training students and training athletes, but you own a business, you're running a business that, you know, it allows you to do that. How do you balance and find the balance between family, work, the business side of what you do, the training side of what you do, you know, spending time with loved ones? Like, how do you maintain that balance? You know, see, I threw in maintain.
I love that.
You like that? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's why I picked the name. You got to maintain.
Yeah.
Good question. I'm pretty fortunate. My wife understands my passion for what I do. She realizes I'm good at what I do. She wants me to continue what I do. We worked hard to get here. I gave up a full-time job with benefits and, you know, a check every other week and work and livelihood for a sacrifice of a dream that we didn't know whether or not it was going to make it. I proved that it can make it because I poured my heart and soul. My kids, they think I'm crazy. My son understands because I spent so much time with him when he was wrestling and running track and football. He understands. He was a trainer with me for a little bit before he moved to Texas. But my youngest daughter, Raina, she plays lacrosse, so she trains with me in here quite a bit. So I see her a lot. We have a good common ground of as far as dad at home and then coach. She calls me coach. She doesn't call me dad.
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate. My wife works her butt off for me to be able to do what I love. And you know, if she knows I'm happy, she's happy, and that's that mutual thing as far as marriage is, that mutual respect. And we want each other to be happy where we're at. And she knows that I'm changing lives. It's what I'm good at. It's what I want to do. She sees these kids in action. She sees the accomplishments and the honor roll systems they're hitting, and hearing from the parents that my son has never made his bed in his life, and all of a sudden he's making his bed. What are you doing inside that gym? We're building character. We're creating young men and women to be successful people in society. Who would not want that for their spouse? It is a 24/7, you say, job. It is in the house and it is at home. I think that's why my kids think I'm crazy. So I'm like, you should come to the gym, work out with me. Dad, no.
Yeah.
So, you know, the eating habits, the nutrition, the supplementation. It's always over the house. It's always gym talk.
Sure.
Anytime somebody comes over, we're talking about the gym. I'm like, we don't have to talk about that. But
Yeah.
yes, it is a 24/7 nonstop. But I'm really blessed. I'm really thankful that they understand my passion, and I'm able to do it. You know, I got a great family.
That's awesome, man. I
Yeah.
love that. I love hearing that. And yeah, I mean, they've got to be amazing, man, to keep up with the passion that you have for it, man. And I remember I'm bummed that Kevin wasn't here tonight, but I remember a couple of years ago he mentioned something about when you're pursuing your passion or your dream, you have to make sure that you're with people that can breathe at the same elevation that you're trying to pursue. You know what I mean? Because if
Right.
they can't breathe
Yeah.
that elevation, then it's gonna be tough for them to hang with you. So it sounds like you've got
Yeah.
a bunch of people in your family, in your life that breathe at that same elevation and can hang in that environment, which is awesome, man.
Yeah, no, that is so true. And they got to be able to, there's a compromise, you got to be able, you got to have your space. I'm gonna grind. My business does not, you know, it's not a clock in and clock out.
Right.
It's people are messaging you over the weekend. You're running into people at the mall, at the farmer's market, and they're like, hey, I want to get my son to you. It's all the time ongoing. So to be able to have that respect, to give that space, to make that happen. Sometimes I get in trouble because I don't have a business card. I mean, my wife has got me, she's got my bag. "Oh, why don't you have your business cards?" Or
Yeah.
why aren't you wearing your shirt? You should be. And so I love that because it keeps me on my toes. Like, oh
She's on
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I forgot about that. But
Yeah.
in the end, it's a team. It's a team effort. Um, yeah, that's absolutely true, man.
Yeah. So, all right, coach, you got one more for you and we'll get you out of here. This is a big one. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this. But what is, when it's all said and done, end of the road, what do you want your legacy to be for the home team? Obviously, your home team was here in Sacramento for a little bit, but now it's in Bakersfield. What do you want that legacy to be for the home team when it's all said and done?
So like, so all said and done, as in like,
At the end of your life. I know,
like the India, like I
like
leave this earth.
leave this earth. I try to avoid that because always sounds grim as I do that.
Oh
But
man, I do it. And I think Daniel said it best. I want kids to understand as many as I can reach, is that, I know they don't care what you know until they know you care.
yeah.
I want kids to be able to understand that. I come off really, really loud and strong sometimes, but when they know me, they know that I'm full of love.
Mhm.
I care about their success. I care about where their life is going. If I have an impact early on in life, then hopefully I can pave that road, and hopefully I can get them young enough to where they can understand how important they are, not only to themselves, to other people in their life, and just value life. We only get one. To make the best of it, to set big goals, to dream big. Being remembered as, Coach Johnson was, one. If I was to look back on myself, and I'm above, I'm in the ground, but my spirit, and I'm looking back, and somebody said, Coach Johnson had probably one of the biggest impacts on me is being who I am.
Yeah.
Nobody gets left behind. We don't want nobody to get left behind. And I just want to reach as many kids as I can, and help them be better than they are, better than they were yesterday. Just being remembered as just a great coach, man.
Yeah.
Just when they talk about their kids, or whether it's a football game, or whether they go out for the military, or they sign up for college, or say, man, coach really, you said that one thing to me. I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy. And I sure do love the messages and the phone calls from my other kids.
Yeah.
So I know that's what I want. Just to be remembered as always being there for them.
Love it, man.
Well, regardless of what it is, school, relationships, we all got relationships, especially my boys.
Yeah. Sure.
Distractions, boys, distractions.
Yeah.
But knowing that I was always there for them.
Yeah.
That would be it. Yeah.
That's awesome, Coach. I love that. Before we wrap this thing up, this just hit me, Coach. I don't know why. I've been looking at you. I'm like, you remind me of someone. I couldn't place it. Just figured it out. I'm a big baseball guy. You look a lot like Max Scherzer, the pitcher. Man,
I've had people say that. Yeah.
Have they said that before?
Yeah, I've had.
Dude, I'm saying,
that. And I didn't know who he was because I'm not a baseball guy.
Okay.
I understand the game and the athleticism, but I'm like, baseball. So I had to look him up, and I was all, whoa.
You guys could be brothers. You just need a different color, 2 different color eyes. You'd be Max Scherzer, dude. And then I would tell people too. It's like we had Brandon Johnson or Max Scherzer, whoever.
Max Scherzer.
Yeah, whoever you want to hear from. That's who we had on the podcast. So
hey, if that guy's a stud, I'm down.
There you go, man. Yeah. Perfect. I had to mention it before we get out of here. So, Coach, man, we just appreciate this so much for taking some time to chat with me. Where can they follow you on social media? What's your website? Anybody who's maybe listening in the Bakersfield area, they can come check you out. And then, even if you're here in Sacramento and you're here in our hometown of Sacramento, make sure you still follow Brandon, because he posts a lot of great stuff. And even though you're not going to go to his gym here from Sacramento, you can still learn something from what he's posting. So make sure you follow him. But where can they follow you on social media, website, all that stuff?
No, I appreciate the time, Josh. I appreciate the invite and the talk and the chat. I love what you guys do as far as listening to, coaches all over and hearing their story. Sometimes we get looked at as making the wrong decision during a crucial game, or, coach didn't play me enough, or there's a lot going on behind the scenes, the important things behind the scenes. And it's cool that you guys are able to get those stories out. If you've never coached and you've thought about it, don't hesitate. If you have the time, and you have the balance in your life, it's the most rewarding thing I think you could do. Mm-hmm. And if you can do it without being paid, I think that's even better. If you can volunteer your time to help with youth development in any way, we could sure use the help. Yeah. So that's my message to my viewers. It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Where can they follow you on social media, Coach?
Social media. So Maintain Fitness 661.
Perfect. And we'll make sure we tag you and everything on Instagram and all that. And man, this has been awesome, Coach.
Yeah.
As soon as I found out that you were connected to Daniel Thomas, it's like, okay, yeah, this dude must be pretty solid. So
yeah, that's my boy up there. We're getting ready to host an event. It's called Dream Big, and he's one of my guest speakers. He's actually coming down and hang out with me and talk to my kids.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I needed some fire, so
there you go.
I'm bringing in the talent. So no, I love him very much. And Daniel, I know you see this. Love you, kid.
Love it, man. That's the way we're gonna end this thing. Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, Josh. Thank you.
All right, man.